Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Morning Pond Thoughts. This time I brought the dog with, as you can see. So I was out for my morning walk this morning, and it's a little bit later in the morning than the other day when I went out. So the sun is going, and it's nice. It's a nice morning, nice and warm, nice day for a walk. Anyway, let me spare you the formalities here. As I was on my walk this morning, I heard a loud screech, a loud, piercing screech from the treetops. Not something that was like a chirp, it was like a consistent, constant, prolonged screech. And when I heard this screech, it brought me back to my childhood. I can recall roughly 20 years ago when I was a young boy of school age. My grandfather, he gave me a book which discussed extinct megafauna that, of my area, the northern Midwest area. And, it was a very interesting book. You always hear that stuff like saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths and things that we're all familiar with. But, this introduced to my young psyche some other kinds of extinct megafauna that I just probably would not have, heard of in an average fourth grade or third grade science book classroom. It expanded my mind in a cool sense, the kind of cool scientific intelligence, not that weird Neil deGrasse Tyson stuff where it's like, oh, we're all made of stars and stuff. No, like real, tangible. The badger and the beaver, they used to be like 30 feet tall and stuff, probably. I mean, yeah, now that I'm old and I'm a little more critical of that stuff, I know that, okay, yeah, it's based off like one toe bone and stuff, and they kind of just make the rest of the shit up. But anyway, it just made me think, when I was a young boy and I read that stuff and how it really sparked and piqued the imagination and how valuable I think that was to my developing mind, looking back on it as an adult male. But then also especially because my grandfather was very much an outdoorsman, and I would accompany him as he would go out into nature hikes and visiting state monuments and state parks and things like that growing up. And you would hear things like that, like you would hear a noise that you'd never heard, you would hear a noise that you weren't familiar with, and that would make you think, oh man, is that Bigfoot? Is that Sasquatch? Is that the Chupacabra? Is that some kind of, one in a million of this long gone, long thought to be extinct species, but really it's out there and really it's in these woods right now, and you never know. It was just something special. And then I thought about it too because, in the last couple of months, there's at least a few people I know. One of my friends just had a son. One is expecting a son. One is expecting twin boys. And then I know there's another one, I can't remember. I think they're expecting a son too, actually, so that's pretty crazy. But with all these people that I know that are having, boys and expecting, nowadays you got your iPods and your technology and all kinds of stuff that you just you're like 1 year old and you're automatically like so overwhelmed with information overload from technology and the computer and everything like that. You don't get that imagination that you could, when I was a young guy and, you had dial-up internet, DSL wasn't even out yet, So I would say, what, when you have your child, or if you are like me and are probably, it doesn't seem like that's going to be happening anytime too soon, but maybe you'll have like a niece or a nephew or whatever, teach them about extinct megafauna. Take them on a nature hike. You know what I mean? Because who knows? There's places where they lock down the parks now because everything crazy going on. There's so much craziness going on in the world that you never know when that you might have that memory, you might have that time, that special occasion, that special information situation that could, really make a mark on somebody's brain in a good way. Because there's a lot of shit that'll leave marks on your brain in a bad way, and why not try and minimize that? Look at this dog over here amongst the lily pads. What a wild animal. Anyway, just think about it. This has been another episode I don't know how often I'm going to do this. Maybe once a week, maybe once a month. I mean, obviously the summer's coming to a close, so if there's no pond, it's just ice. I don't know. Maybe I'll walk. Maybe I'll walk on the pond, huh? That'll take things to a new height, another level sometime. Anyways, for now, I bid you adieu. Take care.